Imagine living in a world where your life could be taken without consequences, where there were no written laws and justice depended solely on the mood of those in power. Sounds frightening, doesn't it? But that's exactly how humanity lived for thousands of years, until one king changed everything. The year was 1901. The sun was beating down on the ruins of an ancient city in the Iranian desert. A group of French archaeologists covered in dust had no idea they were about to make a discovery that would change our understanding of the history of justice. There, buried for 4 millennia, was a monument that held humanity's first set of laws. Let's go back in time. Babylon, 1772 BC. Imagine a gigantic city with its hanging gardens, considered one of the wonders of the ancient world. Merchants trading in busy streets, caravans arriving from distant lands, majestic temples touching the sky. And at the center of it all, a king named Hammurabi. But he wasn't just any king. He had a vision that no one had before. What this king did was so revolutionary, so ahead of his time, that even today, 4,000 years later, his ideas influence the laws that govern our lives. And all of this was engraved on a single black stone. Picture this scene. You hire a builder to make your house. He cuts corners on materials, does shoddy work. The house collapses and kills your son. What should the punishment be? According to Hammurabi, the answer was clear. The builder's son should also die. Cruel. Yes, but for the first time in history, there was a clear and specific rule. It was no longer the whim of a judge or king that decided the punishment. Babylonian society was like a pyramid, divided into 3 levels. At the top, the awalum, nobles, priests, and government officials. In the middle, the mushkenum, merchants, craftsmen, and free farmers. And at the base, the wardum, the slaves. Now, here comes the interesting part. If a noble pierced another noble's eye, he would lose his own eye. But if he pierced a slave's eye, he just had to pay a fine. Unfair, undoubtedly. But it was the first time that even slaves had some kind of legal protection. And now comes the most impressive part. Hammurabi did something that had never been done before. He had all the laws written on a giant stone and placed it in the public square. Just think, for the first time in history, anyone could know their rights and duties. It was like he had created history's first legal Google. Let's see how this worked in practice. If a doctor operated on someone and the patient died due to medical error, the doctor could have his hands cut off. If a son hit his father, his hands would be cut off. If someone accused another of murder without evidence, the accuser would be executed. Harsh? Yes. But for the first time, people knew exactly what the consequences of their actions would be. Just think, 4,000 years ago, a king had already established concepts that we use to this day. Written contracts, that was him. Minimum wage, him again. Women's and children's rights, yes, it was already there. Compensation for damages, it was in the code. It's amazing to think that many of the laws that protect us today began with a king from ancient Babylon. The next time you hear someone talk about their rights, about justice, about written laws, remember, it all started with a king who had a revolutionary idea 4,000 years ago. A king who decided that justice should no longer depend on the mood of those in power, but on clear rules written in stone. So, what did you think of this time travel? Which aspect of Hammurabi's code surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories like this one. Hit the bell icon too so you don't miss any videos. If today we can live in a society with laws and rights, we owe some of that to a king who, 4,000 years ago, decided to write his laws in stone. Until the next video.